The Mind Reader Story at English Fairy Tales. The story is inferred from the provided transcript. Excerpts from the YouTube video titled The Mind Reader Story begins with an overarching statement that suggests a tale of development or revelation. The awakening story Once Upon You. This phrase establishes a foundational theme of a journey towards awareness or a significant personal transformation that unfolds within the narrative. Within this emerging story, a particular character is introduced as she whose abilities are notable for their absence rather than their presence in one specific area. It is explicitly stated that she cannot read their mind about many people. This detail immediately sets up an interesting dynamic, given the video's title The Mind Reader Story, implying either that she is a character who contrasts with a mind-reading protagonist, or that even a mind reader may possess limitations to their powers, or perhaps that the narrative explores the challenges faced by someone without such an ability in a world where it might be expected. As the fragments of the narrative continue, an element of conflict or peril is introduced into the story's world. The text reveals that one new criminal has emerged, signifying the advent of a new antagonist or a significant threat that the characters within the story must contend with. This criminal element is then tied to a specific alarming threat. Iron will capture the child. This direct declaration points to a concrete danger involving a young individual, suggesting that a character or force identified as Iron intends to apprehend a child, thus heightening the stakes of the unfolding events and providing a clear objective for potential heroes or a dire consequence. Later in the available transcript, the she character previously described as not being able to read minds is presented with a seemingly positive, albeit briefly mentioned, development in her personal circumstances. It is stated that she speaks niche, currently a southwestern states, has just one parka with very little mon. This piece of information offers a small glimpse into her life, detailing her acquisition of a parka with an extremely small financial investment, specifically described as very little money. This detail, while specific, stands somewhat apart from the other narrative elements regarding the criminal and the endangered child, offering a momentary insight into her life outside the direct conflict. Towards what appears to be the conclusion of the provided excerpts, the narrative touches upon the theme of companionship and collective decision-making. The text mentions good friends and describes a scenario where good friends and densely thermage footage, and together they first trimester communion and remind the weather is making decided one day our time. This final fragment suggests a moment of unity and collaborative action among close companions, culminating in a shared decision that seemingly marks a significant point in their collective journey or a resolution to some aspect of their experience. Although the precise nature of this decision and its implications for the broader story remain open to interpretation due to the fragmented nature of the source material, the provided transcript for the Mind Reader Story presents a significant challenge in constructing a comprehensive, flowing and chronologically ordered narrative due to its highly fragmented nature and what appears to be a garbled or poorly transcribed collection of phrases. The primary difficulty stems from the presence of numerous disconnected sentences and seemingly random words that do not cohere into a clear plot or character arc. For instance, much of the text consists of sequences like "The weather is still a practical guide," "Will you have element wedding dress is mine," and "Voice VA style garment first special ID in Tellus Lachlan Nordpada Calais cannot." Life is just like that reminds our unique ability to the forgotten sands like Men Travel Sound Gold Puzzle World Thor The Dark World How Did You Is My Sister Sigh Question of practice tests for the money in the house double apple completion of speed of scientists definer that its peak of our people never meet each other destinations observably off remind me at a hypothesis ancestors pede show how are you today for your touch the world you are going to paper to me and I tell your friends but not meet her it's not the UK amounts are now that where I have occurred at my wife making the side of their place it on my way the voice caravat nginthnao. Sportster compass one new criminal has emerged one might never tell us market intelligence and very slight was not leaving the correct try NGI uses to speak English and the castle astral bike hood triflate data path was not aware of which contain many words but no discernible narrative thread or logical progression relevant to a story about a mind reader or the other mentioned elements. A notable conceptual inconsistency within the available text is the direct contradiction between the video's title The Mind Reader Story and the explicit statement about a character that she cannot read their mind about many people. This creates an immediate point of intrigue or confusion as it forces the reader to question whether the story is about a mind reader whose powers are limited about a character who lacks the variability suggested by the title or if this she is a foil or antagonist to a mind-reading protagonist whose abilities are not explicitly stated within these excerpts. The lack of clarity around this central concept diminishes the ability to fully grasp the story's core premise or the significance of its characters. Furthermore, while certain narrative elements are hinted at such as the emergence of one new criminal and the threat that Iron will capture the child, these details are presented without any supporting context, character development, or explanation of their relationships. There is no information provided about the criminal's background, their motivations, how Iron is involved, or the identity of the child in danger. This absence of connecting tissue makes it impossible to build a comprehensive plot from the isolated statements. Similarly, the opening phrase "The Awakening Story" suggests a significant theme, yet the transcript offers no further explanation regarding what awakening occurs, its cause, or its consequences for any character. The detail that a character has just one Parker with very little money, while specific, appears as an isolated fact rather than an integrated plot point, failing to contribute meaningfully to the overarching narrative or character development within the limited scope of the text. The concluding mention of good friends making a decision together provides a hint of resolution or collaborative action, but without the preceding narrative context that would explain their situation or the nature of their bond. The significance of this event remains abstract and unsupported by detailed preceding actions or events. The overall result is a collection of intriguing but disconnected fragments that severely limit the ability to reconstruct a full, engaging, and chronologically coherent narrative, making a detailed analysis challenging beyond noting the explicit mentions and their inherent ambiguities within the source material.